Hi, this is Juan. Welcome to my third video. Welcome to OneOnian. We're here to promote for a better understanding of ourselves and to think intelligently from the biases. And that will lead us to living a better life. Okay, so be sure to check my first video, video 001, for a quick introduction to the channel and how the content and file names are laid out. Okay. So today I'm gonna trying to talk about masculine energy and feminine energy. But before I do that, let me just introduce a theme that you're gonna come across all my videos in this channel. Is our looking towards nature for answers, for solutions, right? So the nature have some laws and phenomena that are some are known, some are unknown, right? Together they govern how the universe works. And throughout the history, people are looking towards nature for inspiration, for better understanding. And at OneOnian, we're trying to do the same. Okay, so a lot of times, if there's a basis to the nature, I want to try to incorporate those ideas into our talks. And so you're gonna see a lot of that in our later videos. But coming back to today's topic, which is really about the masculine energy and feminine energy. First of all, I don't like to use labels because labeling as masculine energy or feminine energy could be misleading, right? But let me try to go through the content and then try to understand the material through understanding of the underlying message. So don't read too much into the label yet. I'm going to explain that a little bit better as we go through today's topic. But I have been sharing this particular talk with a lot of my friends who come to me with their either relationship or some other issues. And this has been very helpful for them to get a new perspective, right, in dealing with people. So I hope this will help you, and this will help you to stimulate your thought, gain a different viewpoint. Okay. All right. So masculine and feminine energy. So just keep that in back of your mind. But let me first talk about the 4Fs. So in evolution biology, there's 4Fs. Fight and flight, which you probably heard before, and feed and fuck. Okay, yeah, you heard it right. But the 4F is easy to remember. They're just a word, right? So don't read too much into the profanity. So fight and flight, I'm going to introduce that as the masculine energy. Feed and fuck, I'm going to try to label that as the feminine energy. And I want to talk about why, okay? And then explain to you where that concept's coming from. But before I go further on that path, let's just talk about how our brain is wired, right? So up your spine, you have the oldest part of the brain, the reptile brain, right? The cerebellum. And then as we evolve, you grow into the mammal brain, the limbic system, right? And then eventually the human part, which is the neocortex, the prefrontal lobe, right? The stuff in the front. I don't want to drag religion into this, even if whether you're religious or not, but that is still in our medical, right? It's still in the science, right? We have those partitions or those sections in our brain. The 4Fs, those are the basic instinct, right? Especially the fight and flight, right? The fight and flight is the basis in our cerebellum, right? The chemicals stored there. When we meet anger, do we fight or do flight? I think a lot of that had to do our basic surviving skill. okay, our basic surviving skill. And what if we identify a food, or back in the hunter and gatherer age, in our history, long time ago, do we hunt, or when we meet a lion, do we face it, or do we flight, right? Do we run away? So that's reptile brain, and that's more about survival skill, or how efficient are we at hunting our food, right? Then later on, we grow the limbic system, the mammal part of the brain. The reason I call it mammal is a lot of mammals share similar structure, right? Similar feels, right? So they have feelings, cares, sense of community, and that's where we develop those kind of things. And that's a little bit tying to the third and fourth F, the feed and fuck, right? I probably should not stop saying fuck, but the third and fourth F, and that is really about nurture and giving. So that to me have a lot to do with the feminine energy of what I'm talking about here. And then as we become more human, the neocortex or prefrontal cortex give us more way of recognize pattern, our logic, make us smarter, right? So if you look in the animal world, who are the most dominant creature, right? We say lion is the king of the jungle, right? But if we're in the animal world, okay, what make us superior than the lion, than the mightiest animal out there? It's definitely not our strength, right? The reason we're better than the animals is because we have a mind, right? And that is our tool. So in a way, if you look what differentiate dominant animals in the wild, whether it's claws, whether it's a sharp teeth, whether there's ability to run, whatever the strength they have, that's the tool they have to be dominant. And we are more dominating than the animal world is because our mind. Okay, so our mind is a tool. The more we sharpen it, the more dominant we become. And you will see that as we talk about our education system, how we grow up, and so forth. So, so back in the tribal area, right? So hunters, if you think about it, they go out, they have the masculine energy. They have to make sure they survive, right? It's about their survival skill, and it's about how efficient they are on getting their food. Then once they bring it back, right, then it's up to the female to care for the tribe, to give, to care, and also to the children, right, to their youth. It's only not long ago, in terms of an entire human history, that women, only until recently, that women are able to stop their own death, right, to give a baby, to give birth to a baby. So this whole fuck really means reproducing. It's really about giving self, sacrifice self for the benefit of others, right? To give. And same thing as as a feed. We're here. We're not talking about feeding ourselves. We're here. We're talking about feeding the young, right? If you look, a lot of animal world, right? It's bird and whatnot. They will feed the baby bird before they will eat it. Before they will eat them themselves. So masculine energy is really about surviving skill. It's really about efficiency. It's really about getting what they set out to do. Then the feminine energy is really about giving, care, and sometimes to the extreme of, well, not extreme, but relatively of giving yourself for the benefit of others. Okay, so that's what I really mean by masculine energy and feminine energy. And one thing I do need to note is masculine does not mean a male, right? These are not gender related. Okay, nowadays we have gay or lesbian couple, right? One partner could be the masculine energy, one other person could be the feminine energy, right? Or you have different mix. But we'll talk about that. But so that is what I define as the masculine energy and feminine energy. And now let's move on to the next part of this discussion. Just take a step back, and if the masculine energy is about survival, it's about efficiency, it's about getting what we want, and how do we get it at the most efficient way. And feminine energy is more about giving, right? Caring, um, even when we have to sacrifice ourselves to give for the benefit of others. And that has some truth in our biology in this universe, in this natural world. But look, as humans, as a human race, look what we have become in this current society. So I was born in China. I came to US when I was 10 years old. So I know a lot about the Chinese culture. But it's not just China, but all over the world, right? But especially in China, because I was the only child, right? I was starting. I think my birth year was the starting of the first child policy. What's this one child policy? Parents are more protective, right? They want the best for their kid, and then in turn, if you look at the school system and the way we grow up, whether it's in China or here in the Western world, ever since you're born, you are trained to become more efficient, right? You are learning skills. You are learning different tools. You're learning piano lessons. You're taking different language. You're taking English classes. You're taking art classes. You're doing dances. You're doing swimming. All those type of things, right? But all of them are skill sets, right? So think about the school system. Okay, kindergarten, you learn to be prepped for preschool, for your grade school, right? And at grade school, you try to prepare for your junior high, high school. Luckily, there's no entry exam here in the States, unless you're in the private sector or whatnot. But over there in China, it's very competitive, right? And then here, when you get to high school, now everybody had to become competitive to get to the best school together, to get to the Ivy League or the school of their choice. So this entire school system are training us to be more masculine, okay? And then when you get to the workforce, you have performance evaluation, you have your resumes that rank you based on what you have achieved. Again, that is dominated by the masculine energy, by the competitive nature of the masculine energy. Then as you progress through your working career, and then the media, right, that comes up, they talk about a lot of media. If you look at it, it's really about fear. And then when we do listen to media for information, we're there to see how it's going to be beneficial to us, how to leverage the information to make us become more efficient. So again, that's masculine energy. So throughout your entire growth in this society, we hardly ever get any feminine energy, right? The giving part, where you learn to be loving, giving, and caring. Ideally, that should come from your family. That should come from your spouse. Sometimes people, I can think church have a lot of feminine energy, and they're about giving, but it's very rare, right? in the society that will get some of that feminine energy. Think about how many single parent family we have. Think about how many homeless. Think about how many low income. Think about how many parents are trying to survive, right? Let alone giving the love, tender care that their kids need. So I'm not here to say whether the masculine energy or the feminine energy, which one's better. I'm simply, if you go back to my second video, I mentioned soul, as stands for spectrum. Everything is relative. So I'm simply want to balance the scale a little bit because I think there's so much masculine energy in this world. It's a dominating force. And this feminine energy become lighter, lighter, lighter. So the scale has been tipped. It's quite unevenly right now. So, and there's no force, very little force in this world that we can get ourselves exposed to that increases this feminine energy and then help us balance our life. And another thing, this is very important, is because in a healthy relationship, whether it's you or your partner, we need some feminine energy. It's everybody looking for their own self-interest. Nobody's giving. That relationship may be in trouble, right? So that's why I mentioned about masculine energy and feminine energy. So you can take a look your relationship. You can take a look at your surroundings to see how much masculine energy there is, how much feminine energy there is. When you have that awareness, you can sometimes see why things behave the way they are, why people behave the way they are. Okay, I'll create another video when we talk about different examples. We can look at Donald Trump. We can look at the politicians. We can look about high achievers, all those things. In general, they have very strong masculine energy. Okay. Also, in my second video, I talk about this outward inward, right? If a person in their inner self is a masculine dominated energy, he or she may not radiate that feminine energy. So you cannot expect a masculine energy person to give you the love care. Sometimes they can fake it, but again, it's not going to be natural. You cannot expect that on a consistent basis. Not that you should be expecting, right? So later we're going to use this concept. This is one of my pillar principles, pillar concept. We're going to use a lot of this, try to look at the world. Okay, thank you.